Your caller is Johnny Tapp.
Thank you, Greg. Yes, it's race 4, named after a great race mare, Light Fingers, winner of the 1965 Melbourne Cup. And in fact, she won, I think she won something like 15 races in all. Remarkable record. She ran second in the Melbourne Cup the following year, 1966, to Galilee, her stablemate. Now, the last couple have moved up and they're all set and ready for dispatch. Voracative stands well. Euphoria has the inside gate. Love of Mary and Like a Rose stand well. The gates open, they're off and running. Flight to Fantasy missed the kick. Very tardy to begin. Flash Fire and Aragen went straight back towards the tail of the field. And beginning brilliantly, My Flashing Star from a wide gate. Voracative quickly away, followed by Euphoria. Love of Mary getting into a handy spot, and then May to September. Hula Guest is trapped out very deep in the early part, and then Moment's Pleasure. Flight to Fantasy midfield on the fence at the 800 mark, and back with her Danarani between horses. Then Sweet Consort and Like a Rose, followed by Aragen with Flash Fire on the outside last of all. 600 out as they near the turn. My Flashing Star the leader. Voracative second, Euphoria third, then Love of Mary. 3 deep as Hula Guest, followed by May to September. And then Moment's Pleasure, Danarani, and Flight to Fantasy near the inside is looking for a run as they come over the rise. My Flashing Star the leader, Voracative on the outside running a bit of a race, and then May to September, followed by Hula Guest and Flight to Fantasy. At the 200 mark, Voracative took a narrow lead over My Flashing Star. Flight to Fantasy is still there with a chance. Here she comes on the outside. By gee, she's a class act. Flight to Fantasy has come from an impossible position, and she's racing away and is going to trot in. She won pulling up with the ears pricked over Voracative, with Aragen third, and then Euphoria, May to September, Flash Fire, followed by Danarani, then My Flashing Star, Moment's Pleasure, Sweet Consort, followed by Hula Guest, and the last couple, Love of Mary and Like a Rose. What's the point of the other fillies chasing her through the autumn? Okay, we go back to Greg Ritchie at the cricket.
Thanks very much, Johnny. Flight to Fantasy, too good. The Light Fingers Stakes. Tasmania, need to see it today. He's got a good bouncer. There's the results of race 4 from Randwick. New South Wales dividends. Number 10, Flight to Fantasy. Paying $2.50 for the win and $1.40 for the place. I'll now bring you race 5 from Flemington. It's the Cadbury Australian Guineas, run over 1,600 metres. And your caller, John Russell.
Runs under his belt, and a very good second behind the champion Jeune in the CF4 Stakes at Wait for Age last week, following a win at Caulfield. So he's a very fit galloper, winner of the Blue Diamond last year, and Barishnikov, of course, having his second run from a spell, chased and covered home last Saturday, and will be much improved for that run, winner of the Sandown Guineas back last spring. And Del Sale, of course, a more than useful galloper, and Don Pasquale hails from the west with a big reputation, having started 9 times. Right, they're moving up. And Don Pasquale, as I was going to mention, 9 starts for 6 wins, 2 seconds and 1/3 as they get set for the Cadbury Australian Guineas. Race 5 on the program, Dry Humour on the inside. Don Pasquale's gone up. Dennis Singer coming in for Mick Dittman. Mick coming up for the hat-trick of wins, having won earlier on Strike High. And got Laura's Express home to a very narrow win over Ladies Way in the previous race. Hurricane Skies moved in. Barishnikov coming up, waiting for Blevik, and also St. Covert and Del Sale, who's drawn the extreme outside. The race over 1,600 metres. Big racing here again tomorrow with the Lightning Stakes, the champion Hariba engaged. Now Blevik to move in. St. Covert about to come up. Dry Humour standing in well. They'll soon be set for the 1995 Cadbury Australian Guineas. St. Covert moving in. Del Sale to join the line. Del Sale moves in, line is complete. They're set, ready for a start. Stand by. Ready. Off and running in the Guineas. Dry Humour first to leave her. In advance there of Don Pasquale, who batted out quickly, and so did Hurricane Sky, beginning well. St. Covert over on the outsider. Dropping in behind them, Dennis Singer, and they were followed by Del Sale, a length and a half, Barishnikova, and Blevik has dropped out to last. Along the side, 1,300 metres left to go. Hard to pick a leader. We're going fast to head them off now as St. Covert by a length and a half. Hurricane Sky on the outside of Dry Humour. Dropping in behind them, Don Pasquale, a length and a half, Dennis Singer, and they were closely followed by Del Sale, a length and a half, Barishnikova. Barishnikov, who's second last, and Blevik is last of all. Coming down the side, just over 1,000 to go on the Guineas, and it's St Covered by a length and a half. Hurricane Sky second, half a length away. Dry Humour close in behind them. Don Pasquale a length and a half. Del Sol on the outside of Dennis Singer, followed by Barishnikov, and Blevik is still last of all. At the 800 metre mark, and St Covered travelling well on the lead by a length and a half. Hurricane Sky in close touch, 2 lengths further back, then over on the inside. Dry Humour, Don Pasquale moving around the outsider. Del Sol is next, followed by Dennis Singer, Blevik, and Barishnikov is last of all as they come around the home turner. 500 metres left to go. Hurricane Sky moving up on the outside to tackle St Covered, is still the leader as they set sail for Homer, and they're clear from Don Pasquale coming down the outside. Dry Humour back behind them, Barishnikov, and then Dennis Singer and Blevik's a long way back as they come to the 250. Hurricane Sky is joining St Covered as they come down past the 200. Hurricane Sky and Don Pasquale is down the outside, and Barishnikov is finishing very fast along the inside. St Covered tackled by Hurricane Sky, and Barishnikov on the inside finishing solidly. Barishnikov on the inside takes a slight lead. Barishnikov has won the Guineas from Hurricane Sky, ahead away third St Covered. Fourth home Don Pasquale, followed by Dennis Singer, back behind them Dry Humour, Del Sol, and the last home is Blevik.
Barishnikov too good there. Back here at Bellerive, Tasmania signalled with the finger to give the umpire the indication that it wasn't all that wide. Barishnikov, winner at Flemington in race 5, paid $6.90 for the win and $1.90 for the place.
Well, race 6, the Expressway Stakes. Our caller is John Tapp.
Thank you, Bill. Moss Rocket is the last one to move into line for the Group 2 Expressway Stakes. And the starter is now moving over to his rostrum to release the field. They look good, lights flashing on top, and they stand. Starter has a good look down the line. Set for the Expressway. Couple of attendants going in to give some assistance, but they're off now, and Moss Rocket on the outside and Navy Seal away very quickly. Fast into stride is Pharaoh, and Identikit is sizzling through towards the lead, followed by Big Dreams. Deposition midfield when they get going on the outside of Flitter. A gap then to Umpala, followed by Upwards and Nasser Rich, and dropping out last is Golden Sword. Over the crossing, Identikit the leader, but Moss Rocket up much closer today, running second. In third place, Big Dreams on the inside of Navy Seal. A length and a half to Pharaoh on the outside of Flitter, followed by Deposition, Nasser Rich, and then Umpala, Golden Sword, and Upwards last at the 600 mark as they near the turn. Moss Rocket on the outside and Identikit are the two leaders coming around the corner. Big Dreams has had a cosy run. He's about to ease out, followed by Navy Seal, and then Flitter on the fence, and Pharaoh is next with Deposition hard ridden as they turn the corner. Over the rise, Moss Rocket is just the leader from Identikit. Pharaoh on the outside running a big race, followed by Navy Seal, and then Deposition at the 200. Moss Rocket the leader. Pharaoh in second place, trying hard to pick him up, but Moss Rocket's a length in front of Pharaoh. Big Dreams is running on well. Old Deposition getting home late with Flitter, but Moss Rocket holding them all as they get near home, and Moss Rocket won the Expressway. Big Dreams second, third's real close, Pharaoh or Flitter. Deposition right on their heels, then Golden Sword, followed by Nasser Rich, Navy Seal, and then Umpala and Upwards, and Identikit is weakened to pull up at the tail of the field. Moss Rocket today, joint leader, coming around the turn, Forge clear and wins again. Moss Rocket pays $2.70 and $1.50. Number 1, Big Dreams, to pay $1.80, and very close for third between Pharaoh, $4.50, or Flitter, which is TAB number 11, a place dividend of $2.10. Let's go back to Bill Lorry.
Johnny Tapp, number 7 in race 6 at Randwick, back here. Tasmania
around the wicket, and he's bowling in at Tucker's pads, but getting the ball to then spin away from the batsman. So he's bowling a good line, knowing that if Tucker wants to play the sweep, he's got 2 men out there for the catch.
Race 7 is the Blamey Stakes, 1,600 metres. John Russell will be calling it after the brilliant call he gave in the Australian Guineas.
2 starts for 3 wins, 9 seconds and 3/3, and has amassed a total of $711,000 in prize money. Now Raleen coming in has won 3 out of his 4, his last 4. Paris Lane should be ready to produce his best form after 2 runs this time in. Station Hand second behind Durbridge in last year's Australian Cup, finishing ahead of Mahogany. Field is set. Light on for the Blamey. And they're off. And Station Hand jumped away nicely to the inside from Blue Boss, who began quickly, and so did Trista Love, and Durbridge is just behind them. Going up on the outside of Presser, being followed by Royal Snack and Starstruck behind them. Paris Lane the inside, Rallying deeper on the tracker, and they were being closely followed a bit further back in the field by Innocent King from Ice Doctor, and Telesto has dropped out to last, 1,250 metres outer, and Durbridge has dashed to the front by a half length to Blue Boss, a length and a half further back as Trista Love, followed by Station Hand Presser, then Rallying 2 lengths away, Starstruck, a length and a half, Paris Lane, Innocent King back behind them, and further back to Royal Snack, followed by Ice Doctor, and last of all Telesto, 900 metres out, and they're well strung out, and Durbridge setting a solid pace, about a length to Blue Boss, a length and a half, Trista Love on the outside of Station Hand. In behind them is a Presser as they pass the 800, followed by Rallying on the rails, a length and a half, Starstruck. Innocent King is commencing a forward move, and further back to Paris Lane. Next over on the outside to Ice Doctor, followed by Royal Snack, and still last of all Telesto. Round the turn, 550 metres out as they straighten up, and Durbridge travelling well. Leads a length and a half. Blue Boss in third place is Trista Love down the outside. Station Hand getting the run on the rails is finishing on. Further back is Rallying. Paris Lane's a long way back as they come down past the 400, and Durbridge is battling on tenaciously. Station Hand trying to get through on the inside. Deeper on the track, Trista Love, and they're followed then by Blue Boss and Starstruck, and Paris Lane under the Weber. But Durbridge is going strongly. Here comes Station Hand down the outside. Durbridge is the leader. Station Hand is trying to get to Durbridge, is battling on courageously. Durbridge is too strong. Durbridge by a half length to Station Hand, 2 lengths away third. Starstruck a good run. Paris Lane has run home well for fourth, followed by Innocent King, and then Blue Boss and Trista Love, who weakened out of it. Royal Snack behind them, Rallying, Ice Doctor, and the last couple home to Leicester, who failed to fire today, and back with him was a Presser.
They don't come any more game than Durbridge. Big win there in the Blamey Stakes at Flemington. Prices, tote prices to come shortly, but let out by the bookies and the tote bettors, who just over 7 to 1, paid $8.10 and $2.80. Station Hand $4.30, and Starstruck for a place $3.10. They are Victorian dividends.